fail. Payment fail?
Hello and welcome to Sports Buzz with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you all the latest news and updates from different sporting arenas. In the next half an hour, we're going to bring you the result that followed by a skirmish between the fans at Argentina versus Brazil match. We will also get you the latest on Euro 2024 qualifiers and what are the latest rules that ICC have laid down. So let's get quickly started. Argentina emerges victorious with a 1-0 scoreline in World Cup qualifying clash against Argentina. Croatia clinches final automatic qualifying spot for Euro 2024 on Tuesday as Wales settle for a playoff place. And ICC announces equal pay for female match officials, further implements a trial of stop clock in men's ODI and T20 internationals. So those were the top headlines of the hour. Now let's get you all the stories in detail. Where in a soccer World Cup qualifier match, Nicolas Otamendi scored with a towering header to give Argentina a 1-0 away victory over Brazil in a World Cup qualifier that was delayed by half an hour after police clashed with the fans at a sold-out Maracana Stadium. Brazil plunged to a third straight defeat and first ever at-home loss in a World Cup qualifier to stand sixth in the standings, which is 8 points behind leaders Argentina and in the last spot that guarantees a berth at the 2026 finals. Well, it was a nervy first half with 22 fouls, 3 bookings and several skirmishes as rival players frequently faced off. The referee flashed cards in an attempt to calm the situation.
We bear the Brazil shot. We have to do everything we can to win the matches. This is being done through hard work. I think we can manage to deepen our internal relationships more and more, grow in our work and training. The results should come, but we have no guarantee that the results will come. What we can guarantee is that we will work.
Well, the sporting rivalry between two of the most successful teams hit fever pitch after the Brazilian police charged Argentinian fans in response to fighting in the stands during the national anthems. The world champions, led by captain Lionel Messi, went over to the terraces to try and calm down the situation before leaving the pitch and returning to the dressing room for more than 10 minutes. The players eventually returned and the match started in a tumult of a noise as local fans wrote their support of the 5-time world champions.
Beyond the match, I don't know which words to use. I don't know which word because I don't want to be rude, but it's very ugly to see that happen. Whether it's an Argentinian or a Brazilian, it's very ugly and some had family there. They didn't know if they were there. To play a match in these conditions was difficult.
Tenían familiares cercanos ahí, no sabían si estaban, si no estaban y bueno.
Now, Croatia became the final team to automatically secure their place at Euro 2024 edition with victory over Armenia with Borna Sosa's sole goal of the match. The result now means that they finish second behind Turkey in Group T and sent Wales into the playoffs category. Croatia camped in the Armenia half without creating clear-cut chances until Budimir's headed goal 2 minutes before half-time. Borna Sosa's cross from the left was perfect for the forward to get ahead of his marker and score from 6 yards out. Luka Modric was superb for the home side as he believed he's 38 years old and pulled the strings in midfield, allowing them to control the tempo in the second half and also create several other scoring chances that were spurned. Now it is a 6th successive qualification for the continental finals for Croatia. It also means that Croatia continue their record of qualifying for every European Championship since 2004 and every major tournament since 2010. Staying on football, Greece came from a goal down to hold France to a 2-2 draw in their final Euro 2024 qualifier in Group B on Tuesday, denying Didier Deschamps a side of perfect record in their qualifying campaign. Randal Kolo Muani scored just before halftime before Greece levelled in the 56th minute through Anastasias Bakistisas and Fortis. That gave the hosts the lead 5 minutes later. Youssef Fofana equalised for France in the 74th minute. The match had nothing at stake for either of the side after France, who finished with 7 victories and a draw, and the Netherlands had claimed the top 2 spots to qualify for the finals, and third-placed Greece had secured a place in the playoff. Les Bleus were looking to end the qualifying competition with a 100% record for the first time since completing the feat ahead of Euro 2024, having also achieved a perfect run to reach the 1992 tournament when coach Deschamps was playing. Well, Wales will have to take their chances in the playoffs for Euro 2024 after the country's automatic qualifying hopes were dashed following a 1-1 draw with Turkey in their final Group D game on Tuesday. Needing to beat Turkey to have a chance of qualifying at the expense of Croatia, who were hosting Armenia. Wales made a dream start as Nico Williams fired them ahead after 7 minutes. But the mood of euphoria inside the Cardiff City Stadium began to wane with news of a Croatia goal before halftime, with the Welsh fans knowing that even beating Turkey would not be enough if the Croatians claimed their victory. Now hope then ebbed further away when Yusuf Yazici equalised for Turkey from the penalty spot after 70 minutes. Moving on to FIFA World Cup second round qualifiers, India suffered a 0-3 loss against Asian champions Qatar in their second match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup second round qualifiers. Qatar would have won by a bigger margin had they not missed several chances while dominating throughout the 90 minutes at the Kalinga Stadium. The Indian defence was exposed quite early into the match as they conceded a goal in the 4th minute itself. Mustafa Tariq Mashal, Almioz Ali and Yusuf Adurizag scored for Qatar, while India could barely create scoring chances. They did get a couple of opportunities at the fag end of the first half, but wasted them. Igor Stymek's team is still in contention to finish second in Group A and qualify for the third round for the first time after a 1-0 victory over Kuwait in their away match on the 16th of November. Now, India will next play their 2026 World Cup qualifiers match against Afghanistan at the neutral venue of the Shanbay. Staying on football, India head coach Igor Stymek said he would not consider the upcoming Asian Cup in Doha as an important tournament as the team is competing in the continental showpiece without proper national camp. Stymek wanted at least 4 weeks of national camp ahead of the continent's premier competition that begins on the 12th of January, but with the first phase of the Indian Super League continuing till the 29th of December. The clubs are unlikely to release their players for a long training camp. India face formidable Australia on the 13th of January, and Igor Stymek is unlikely to get more than 10 days of training with all his national team players playing together. Uzbekistan and Syria are the other 2 teams in India's group. Moving on in sports bus, now let's get you an update from archery. Well, India continue to dominate the Para-Asian Archery Championship by advancing into 4 more finals. Indian archers remain in contention for 8 gold medals. While India defeated Kazakhstan by 128 to 118 to set up a title clash against Korea in the men's W1 doubles category. India also entered the gold medal clash in men's compound open doubles. They will take on Chinese Taipei in the gold medal clash. In the women's recurve open doubles category, India defeated Thailand by 6-2 in the semi-finals to set up a clash against Indonesia in the final. Well, India also made the summit clash in the compound mixed team event where Rakesh and Sheetal Devi defeated their rivals from Philippines by 155 to 139 scoreline. Well, in a triumph for inclusion and empowerment, Special Olympics Bharat is receiving international acclaim for its outstanding efforts in providing sports training and competitions for individuals with intellectual disabilities in India. Under the dedicated leadership of President Mallika Nadda, the organization's champions, they believe in sports as a catalyst for community unity and individual growth as well. Here's an exclusive report by sports correspondent Narayan Singh.
Bharat is winning global applause for its fantastic work in providing sports training and competitions for individuals with intellectual disabilities in India. Led by Special Olympic Bharat President Dr. Mallika Nadda, the organization believes strongly in the power of sports to unite communities and create opportunities for growth. SO Bharat President Dr. Mallika Nadda's dedication to the cause is evident in the strides made by Special Olympic Bharat. Through year-round sports training and competitions, the organization is not just promoting physical well-being but also championing the rights and potential of individuals with intellectual disabilities. Chairman of Special Olympic International, Timothy Shriver, and Chief Executive of Special Olympic International, Mary Davis, have showered praise on the organization for its exceptional work.
Hello and congratulations, Special Olympics Bharat. My name is Timothy Shriver and I'm deeply honored to be the chair of Special Olympics International, but even more honored to be joining the entire worldwide community in thanking and congratulating you on achieving this enormously important milestone of excellence. I dare say nothing could be more important than working hard so that we educate a generation of young people to grow and develop with the inclusive attitudes and inclusive mindsets that will allow them to create the inclusive world we so desperately need and want.
I'm Mary Davis, the Chief Executive of Special Olympics International. You have built schools of inclusion where every student is accepted, respected, and welcomed and included. And as an educator myself, there is no better way to teach things like empathy, courageous action, respect, universal dignity, than through the power of play and through the power of sport. You have done that in such an admirable way through the Unified Champion Schools program, and I want to commend you for achieving this distinction in your country.
The acknowledgement from the global leadership of Special Olympic International highlights the organization's role in creating a positive and transformative environment for athletes. As Special Olympic Bharat continues its mission to create a more inclusive society through sports, the global recognition received from Timothy Shriver and the Chief Executive of Special Olympic International serves as a testament to the organization's impactful contribution in shaping a brighter future for those with intellectual disabilities in Narayan Singh Sport for DD India.
Moving on in Sports Pass, now let's get you another update. Well, Indian cubist Pankaj Advani won the IBSF World Billiards Championship title in Doha on Tuesday for a staggering 26th time, beating compatriot Saurav Kothari in the finals. Pankaj Advani defeated Kothari by 1,416 scoreline in a rematch of last year's title clash in Kuala Lumpur. He had won his first world title in this competition way back in the year 2005. While Advani has won the long format for the 9th time, he also triumphed in the point format championship on 8 different occasions, besides winning the World Team Billiards Championship once again. Well, India will host the Afghanistan team for 3 T20s in January. The Afghanistan Cricket Board said that this is the first time that the two sides will meet in a multi-match white ball series. The series is scheduled to begin on the 11th of January in Mohali before moving to Indore for a match on the 14th of January. The final match will be played in Bengaluru on the 17th of January. Well, Afghanistan were once considered the World Cup minnows, having won just one game in their 2 previous campaigns. But they wrapped up the recently concluded showpiece event in India with 4 victories and also sealed a place in the Champions Trophy for themselves by finishing at the 6th position in the points table. Staying on cricket, and in a groundbreaking decision, the ICC announced equal pay for female match officials, signalling its commitment to gender equality in cricket. The reforms include the equalization of match day pay for ICC umpires, regardless of whether they are officiating men or women cricket matches. The initiative is set to be implemented in January next year. It also takes another stride towards equal opportunities in the sport. Well, the Chief Executive's Committee also recommended including at least one neutral umpire in every series of the ICC Women's Championship. The board also approved new gender eligibility regulation for women's cricket, according to which male to female participants who have undergone male puberty will not be eligible to compete in the international women's game. The ICC has further also agreed to implement a trial stop clock in men's ODI and T20 international cricket from 2023 December till April 2024. Now, this aims to regulate the time taken between the overs. This means that a 5-run penalty will be imposed the third time a bowling team fails to be ready to bowl the next over within 60 seconds of completing the previous one. Moving on, Australian cricketers returned home after upsetting India in Ahmedabad to win the 50 overs World Cup title for the 6th time. 7 members of Australia's World Cup winning squad are remaining on the subcontinent to play a 2020 series against India, which starts on Thursday at India's Visakhapatnam. Captain Pat Cummins lauded his side's performance on arrival in Sydney. He said they had created their own legacy after also retaining the Ashes in England and winning the World Test Championship this year.
I think they've created their own legacy. I mean, a World Cup, you only get one chance every 4 years. And, you know, especially playing somewhere like India, it's hard. So to be pitted up against the rest of the world and come away with a medal, that's doesn't get any better than that. And then adding to that an away Ashes series, a World Test Championship, yeah, we couldn't have planned for much better. So pretty satisfied group.
And now in Sports Bus, let's get you updates on the upcoming Paris Olympics. With just 247 days to go, the multi-sport prestigious Paris Olympic event, the preparations are in its final stage and athletes are all geared up to show their best skills. Here's a report that tells you more on the preparations. Take a look.
Paris Olympics are approaching fast and the athletes are all set to showcase their best set of skills at the gala event. The preparations are also in their final stages and the excitement is taking a new momentum. Organizers of the Paris 2024 Games are as ambitious as ever about the spectacle they will deliver next summer.
So far, we are still with the same level of ambition, despite the different I would say incident, or I don't know what happened in the world over the past years with COVID and with wars and inflation and so on in France and internationally. For us, our mission is to maintain the level of ambition, to make sure that Paris, France, will be at the top level in terms of what we have the best to offer to showcase for Paris 2024.
The organizers are also keeping a check on accommodation prices so that fans and attendees do not face any last-minute accommodation-related issues.
Regarding the prices of accommodation for maybe the spectators, it's not under our control, definitely. We have to respect also the law, and we cannot have a say on what the people are ready to sell. I think this market will be regulated also and balancing in comparison of the number of requests and the offers. So there are still a lot of to be available, And I'm sure that at the moment the prices are very high, but they will probably reduce a little bit also, because when we will get soon close to the games, those hotels we want to sell the rooms, and they are not selling when the prices are too high. It's the reality of every games, it's the reality of every big event. We cannot control this part.
Addressing a press conference, President of the Paris Olympics Organizing Committee also spoke on the decision taken by the IOC on the participation of Russian and Belarusian athletes.
No, we were not involved in the decision of who should be accepted to participate into the games. Personally, I think it's a good system, because when the games are organized in different countries, in different continents, it's not their responsibility to decide. When they are organized in China, recently, the last games were in China, China were not able to say, okay, we accept this country, we don't accept this country. It was the same situation. It was the international federations and the IOC and the IPC. So we love the games because it's universal, and I think it's good to respect that this universality is coming with organizations such as the IOC and the IPC and the IF. So France will not be in a position to decide which country will participate in the Paris 2024 Games.
IOC said on October 12th that the Russian Olympic Committee would be banned with immediate effect after it recognized Olympic councils from the annexed Ukrainian regions of Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson and Zaporizhia. A decision on whether Russian athletes will be allowed to take part in the Paris Olympics as neutral without a flag or an anthem has yet to be taken. But the IOC has repeatedly said it would not punish athletes for government decisions. The organizing committee is leaving no stone unturned to make the upcoming edition of Olympics a grand success. The prestigious multi-sport event is all set to take place in Paris this time and will run from July 26th to August 11, 2024. Sports Desk, TD India.
United Nations General Assembly, or the UNGA, adopted Olympic rules in its latest meeting. According to the IOC, the Olympic rules dates to the Olympic Games in Olympia in 776 BC. The idea of the truce is to halt hostilities to allow for the athletes and the spectators to have safe passage to participate in the Games. And the idea for a truce was revived back in the year 1992 and has been introduced for every edition of the Games since then. Here's a report that tells you about this latest adoption on the truce at the UNGA.
In a latest development, United Nations General Assembly adopted the Olympic truce for Paris 2024. The resolution was formally introduced to the General Assembly on behalf of the French government by Tony Isingworth and IOC President Thomas Bach, who appealed for the adoption of this resolution.
Monsieur le Président, dans le contexte actuel de conflits et de tensions,
today we come to you with a strong message, a universal message in favor of peace. Along with the Greek tradition of the Olympic truce, I would like to express our gratitude to all the delegations that co-sponsored this resolution and express their support in close cooperation with the International Olympic Committee. It is with humility, given that event around the world, but also with deep-seated convictions that I stand before you. More than ever, sports have a role to play and can help us to take a step towards a better world. The Paris 2024 Games are ready to do their part before our prestigious institutions. It is my honor to present the resolution for a better world for sports in view of the Paralympics and Olympics Games of 2024 in Paris. Thank you.
In his address to the UNGA in New York, USA, President Bach spoke of the significance of the Olympic truce at a time when the world is facing so much confrontation, division, and polarization.
I cannot remember a time when the world was facing so much confrontation, division, and polarization. Despite the urgent need for global cooperation, our world is fragmenting. The scourge of war and violence is growing. Political, social, and economic divisions are gaining more and more ground over solidarity and shared values. In this fragile world, this Olympic truce resolution is more relevant than ever. In these difficult times, this resolution is our opportunity to send an unequivocal signal to the world. Yes, we can come together, even in times of wars and crises. Yes, we can join hands and work together for a better future.
After noting that the title of the resolution called Building a Peaceful and Better World Through Sport and the Olympic Deal, the United Nations and IOC's joint response to the challenges of turbulent times, the truce was agreed by an overwhelming majority of 118 votes in favour, with 2 abstentions and no votes against. Sports Desk, DD India.
Moving on in Sports Buzz, now let's get you an update from the world of tennis. Well, Wimbledon hosts the All England Tennis Club said that they were disappointed after the London Borough of Wandsworth refused planning permission for a massive expansion. The plans includes construction of 39 new grass courts, including an 8,000-seater show court on the adjacent Wimbledon Park. Well, it was given the green light by the London Borough of Merton, but Wandsworth's planning committee have turned it down. Now, the decision will now be reviewed by the Mayor of London's office. The councillors opposed the development, arguing it would cause substantial harm to the openness of metropolitan open land. And with this, it's now time to wrap up this edition of Sports Buzz, but news and updates will continue here on DD India, so don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.